You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the Fighter's Voice. The Fighter's Voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. We're here live in Fresno, California. Get ready to knock out the competition. With me in studio, we have the guest co-host, boxing personality, Omar Godinez.
What's going on? What's going on, guys?
What's up, my man? So you beat traffic to get here, huh?
You know what? I thought COVID would kill the traffic, right?
Yeah.
No, it didn't do that.
No, it didn't do it. Huh?
People are still
but
stuck
see,
out there.
This is what I like about you, man. Because you asked, hey, who are we having on the show? And like your phone kept cutting off when I was telling you. But once you found out it was Pita Garcia, the son of a legend, whose dad is the son of a legend, then you just started smashing, man.
Oh, man. I stepped on the gas pedal faster than I could.
Couldn't leave the man hanging.
No,
man.
not at all.
Not leave him hanging.
It's a pleasure.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. Today's guest is the son of a legend who's making his own waves, his own name. And I want to congratulate him on his podcast, his training, and his eye for the sport of boxing, but not just boxing. I'm talking about MMA and sports in general. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Mr. Pita Garcia. How we doing, Pita?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure having you on the show. How's everything going over there in Riverside?
Everything good. Just got home from the gym. Had the guys training today. Jose, a bunch of the guys training. So, yeah, just got home from training.
You know, we got a lot of questions that have been coming in for Jose. We're going to do a recap on this weekend right now. But I'm going to jump in right now about the gym because the gym is up and moving. It is taking off. And this question's coming in right off the bat from Lee Samuels, top-ranked Hall of Famer. First of all, he said, hey, tell your dad that I said hello. That's coming from Lee Samuels.
Okay.
And how are you handling boxing, the workouts for these fighters with the whole coronavirus going down?
We've had a few changes at the gym. Just on Friday, we started testing the fighters and us as the trainers once a week. The next I think this Friday or I think Monday they're going to come back. Everybody's test came back negative, so that was good. But we're going to be doing that once a week. We also hired a safety consultant, Alex Martinez, that's been coming to the gym every day. He helps sanitize. After every fighter gets off of a certain bag, he'll clean the bag. If they're using certain equipment, he cleans it up. Us as the trainers, we're wearing face masks and face shield and gloves while we're training with the guys, wrapping their hands or whatever it is that we're doing. But it's a little bit different. But it's the new normal, something we're gonna have to get used to for now. We have some big fights coming up, obviously with Jose Ramirez defending his belts. And a bunch of the other guys, we have a lot of fights coming up, so we have to do whatever we can to make sure we stay safe and keep those fights going.
You know, if you want things done in life the right way, you just got to go to Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy because they're not going to let you in until every T is crossed and every I is dotted. Safety precaution up the you-know-what, man. I mean, because, you guys take pride in everything that goes on in the gym. You guys are in charge of everything that goes on in the gym. And you guys welcome anybody that wants to stop by and just keep checking on you because they're going to catch you doing it right. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. My dad made sure that since it's kind of an honor, like for my dad has talked about it, and my grandpa has talked about it, that if you look at like Top Rank Summer Series that they had the fights on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we had I want to say like 8 fights. We had one of the first week, we had on the second card we had the co-main event. We've had a lot of fights. Then the Zone comes back, and the first main event is from our gym. So we have to make sure that we're up to date with everything. We're making sure everybody's protecting themselves the correct way, because the promoters are trusting our gym to have everything in order and make sure the guys are ready for fight night. We can't afford to have anything happen to one of the cards, especially with a big card like Jose coming up where he's the main event. We got to make sure that we protect everybody at the gym and make sure the cards go through the way they should.
Omar, when you hear this feedback right now, man, again, this isn't just an ordinary gym. This is a Hall of Fame gym. This is the hottest boxing gym going on right now, not just in Riverside or California. We're talking about worldwide, man, because they're making sure everything is covered, and the respect that Pita was just saying that they're getting from top-ranked boxing. And then now they have a representative that handled this weekend, Golden Boy Promotions. What's your whole take on this, man?
What the Garcia family, man. It's starting back when you think of when Robert was fighting and when they had Fernando Vargas. These are world class people.
Yeah,
world class people. Just their training, their sparring, everything is just fantastic there at the gym. Everybody knows that gym. For it to be some of the toughest people out there, and I cannot wait for Ramirez Postol. And this thing has been postponed twice. I cannot wait for it.
We're going to dive right into that, Pita. And actually, the last question was from, he had one additional question, Lee Samuels. He said, you know what, talk to us about Jose Ramirez. How's he looking in the gym? What do you expect come August 29th when he steps inside of the ring, Pita? And give us your take, because, I mean, you're right in the corner with him, man. I mean, he's there day and night. I mean, he's familia now.
Yeah. He's looking really good. Last week he was sparring Virgil Ortiz, helping him get ready for his fight.
Let me just stop you right now, man. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams growing up that you get to see a pay-per-view event in your gym, just a sparring match?
Yeah, we got to see it. We got to see it last week. I think 3 days they sparred. But even before that, Jose's been sparring Virgil. But now that he officially got his date, then obviously it's a little bit different than the sparring and the mitts and everything. Everything turns up a little bit. And last week he had a few good sessions with Virgil Ortiz. Then this week we got a few new sparring partners that came in that are gonna help him get ready. But he's looking really, really good. Today did 12 rounds total with mitts and with my dad and with Khetphet. They worked with him today. He's looking good. He's gonna be ready for his fight.
Hey, without giving too much away, because what happens in the gym stays in the gym, man. What would you call that sparring match? If you had to give it a name, what would you just call it?
Honestly, I don't even know. It's like you said, it's pay-per-view worthy stuff. It's stuff that if it main evented, and obviously without the coronavirus, but if they put it in a big arena, would sell out. And I mean, people would pay to watch this stuff, and we get to watch it on a weekly basis at the gym. So it's, I mean, honestly, I don't have words for it. It's that good of sparring.
You know what? I'm thinking lightning versus thunder, man, or just iron sharpens iron, like I told your father before, man. What's your take on that, Omar? I mean, that's every day. You can't get any better than that. You cannot be any well prepared than sparring with Virgil Ortiz or Virgil Ortiz sparring with Jose Ramirez.
I was actually just going to ask Pita about that. How is Jose doing against somebody who's naturally bigger than him?
He does really good. I mean, he is Virgil is the naturally bigger guy. But Jose is still he's a unified world champion. He has the experience. He was an Olympian. All that stuff is obviously benefits him, but it helps Virgil as well. Being in there with somebody that's that experienced and that has been in there with the type of opponents that Jose has been in. Virgil's opponents themselves haven't been former world champs the way Jose is. So he that kind of experience he can't get in a fight. But he gets it in the gym. He gets in the gym with guys like Jose. He sparred guys like Mikey. I mean, the list goes on. Josito Lopez. All these guys that with all their experience help. They all help each other, and it's great work.
You know what, man? That's some awesome things, man. I keep joking around with your dad, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that banner in myself because your dad said he's going to get one. I said, Robert, you should just put something on there that says "Iron sharpens iron."
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it is. But it's not even just with the. It's not even just with the sparring, with the workouts.
Yes.
If we have Charles Tremblay that helps out all of our guys.
Shout out to Charles, Fresno, California.
Shout out to Charles for the great work he's done. He worked with Joshua Franco for his last fight when he fought for the world title, and he was in the best shape he's been. But Josh is working alongside guys like Virgil, Biggie, just all the guys. They all work tomorrow. Jose and Mikey will be working out together at 2, doing their strength conditioning with Charles. Just they see the other one working hard. Then they push each other to not, they don't want to let the other guy do better than them, or they don't want to give up in those kind of workouts. So it's not just in the sparring; it's just the whole atmosphere of the gym. The guys are all helping each other, pushing each other.
Competitive.
Yeah, it's competitive.
Wow. So what time tomorrow is Jose and Mikey? Okay, Omar, if we leave tonight, by the time we get there tomorrow, and we get tested, well...
my car's not as fast as Mikey's, but I'm sure we can get there right on time.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there you go. And really, which car of Mikey's?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Anyone.
There's got so many of them.
Anyone.
Pita, really quick, I sat and watched the show that you and your dad had on YouTube earlier today, and you were talking about Virgil Ortiz being not even top 10. You're talking about top 5. You're talking about top 3 possibly. I completely agree with you. People may say that he doesn't have the experience, or that he hasn't been in there with, the Errol Spences and the Sean Porters and everything. But I completely agree with you. I think he is ready. He is ready for that top level competition.
Yeah, I think so. The guy he just lost, Samuel Vargas, was a tough guy. Made Virgil go more rounds, and I think that he stopped him like in the seventh round, if I'm not mistaken. That's the most rounds I think Virgil has been. But he dominated the whole fight from start to finish. Showed different things that people haven't seen. Good defense, his jab.
I love that little sidestep there.
Yeah, the pivots, everything. He was able to show
that's that Tyson step right there, man.
Somehow Jack Reese didn't like that, but
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, he was able to show everything. My grandpa came into the gym. He came into the gym yesterday to watch Jose spar, and he was sitting next to me. He told me, he's like, damn, Virgil looks so good. He's like, now that fight showed me that he's ready for every welterweight. He's like, not just certain guy. No, he's ready for every welterweight. And we all believe it. We see what we see in the gym, and the way he trains, the way he works out, the type of how he's able to do good against all the guys in sparring, like Mikey and Jose. Like he's a lot younger than all of them, but he still holds his own and does good with everyone. So we know what he can do, and a lot of people think we say that just to like hype him up and try to but I actually mean it when I think he is a top 5, top 3 welterweight right now, not later on. No, right now I think he beats all those guys at welterweight.
And he's got a freaking power punch for a jab. That thing comes
Yeah. And
everything he throws is with that intention.
Yeah.
The combinations that he put together. Usually you describe a fighter as being hungry. Virgil is starving. He's waiting for that opportunity, and he's putting the heat on these 147 pounders.
Yeah, he is starving. That's a good way to describe it. That's how he fights.
No, exactly, man, and that goes a long way because that's the atmosphere that he's in. Pita, I'm not telling you something you don't know. That is the atmosphere. When you walk inside that gym, man, you better have your mouthpiece with you. You better cup check, make sure your balls are in there, because if you're not ready to let them hang and swing, man, that's not the gym for you, because it's hard work. You guys build champions. You guys build character, and most of all, man, all your fighters are champions outside of the ring, and they do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, that's the kind of atmosphere my dad has built in the gym. Nobody when they walk into that gym thinks they're better than anybody else. Nobody has that kind of attitude. They're all there to work and help each other. But obviously they all have their own goals, and they push each other to reach those goals. But it's a competitive gym, man. It's a really, really competitive gym. The type of guys that we have, even from the guys that are just starting, the 6-rounders, 8-rounders, all those guys, they're all very, very talented, and hopefully soon we get to add more of those guys to the world champs.
Yeah, right there with that wall. There's plenty of room there for all those world champions to be put on there. Hey, this next question is coming in from Eric Hernandez, Dog Boxer. What are your thoughts on the whole boxing? What are your thoughts on boxing today with the whole pandemic going on? The transition that you're making?
At first it seemed a little weird that they would have events like that with no fans, and I mean, it was just something we were gonna have to get used to. Once we got there, the first fight I worked, I think, was Robert Rodriguez. He fought. It was the second week, I think, of the Top Rank series. And at first you walk out and it's a little weird. I mean, it's just the commission, some of the workers from Top Rank, a few maintenance people, and that's it. it's a little weird, but you get used to it. You get used to it right away. And I know Top Rank didn't put on the big the big pay-per-view fights like Lomachenko, Delfimo, those kind of fights yet, but they were the first ones that did it, and you know, for the most part, it went really, really well. And now you see Showtime announcing their big fights. So I think little by little we'll be getting back to normal, back to the matchups that we were expecting to see in the summer, like Ramirez, Postol, and these kind of fights that we were supposed to get in the spring, early summer. You know, so little by little we'll get back to those big matchups. I just saw today on Twitter that they announced the one they didn't get announced, but it looks like it's Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, like in November or something like that. So little by little, all these big fights are getting announced because, you know, the promoters are starting to see how to work their way around the whole pandemic stuff. But hopefully we'll be able to get the fans back in there real soon.
Hey, let's talk about that whole Showtime card, that whole PBC card. But before we get in depth, I know Omar has a question too. I want to ask you, this is my take, but I want your take on this. Because I've always said to myself, whoever gets to fight Spence first, their timing is perfect right now. Because we don't know exactly what's going on inside of Spence. What's your whole take after that fight's been announced? What's your whole take going into round one of that fight?
Yeah, this would be the perfect moment for someone like a Danny Garcia to beat someone like Errol Spence. Maybe when it was originally announced, I think it was for January of this year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I would have picked Errol Spence to win pretty handily, but now the fight, I think, gets a lot closer than it was before. But it also makes me respect someone like Errol Spence that much more. You see guys like
not taking no tune-ups, man.
No, nothing. His first fight back is against Danny Garcia. I remember Keith Thurman, you usually got a lot of stuff for that because he had a lot of injuries and stuff. He would come back. He usually try to take a tune-up before some of the big fights.
Cito Lopez almost had him, man.
Yeah, Errol was having none of that. He went straight into Danny Garcia, so you got to give Errol his respect and credit for doing something like that. But it should be a good fight. I'm still picking Errol Spence to win. Obviously, you know, thinking that he did recover from the accident he was in, but yeah, you got to give him credit for stepping in there. And obviously, Danny Garcia, this is the time to capitalize on a big fight like this.
You know, Danny's got a hell of a chin. Do you see Errol possibly stopping him, or do you see it going all the way?
No, I see a decision, but I do see Errol winning a decision. I don't like you just said. Danny can take a punch, and Errol. I think Errol, for the same reasons with the car accident and stuff. Maybe I think they will play a little bit safer and stick to his jab and his footwork and his athleticism and stuff. So I'm picking Errol by decision.
Yeah, man, and. Actually, I can see that happening too. I could see Danny Swift having some moments in that fight, but I got to lean towards the champ as well. Hey, Omar, when that card was announced with Showtime, PBC, man, I mean, they didn't just announce a card. I mean, look at the names and the matchups that are on there, man. What's your take on that whole card developing?
You know, the fights that I'm most excited about, they actually mentioned it earlier on the YouTube that I was watching with them, are the Charlo brothers. The Charlos.
Finally get tested.
You know, I don't even know which one's better, the Charlo against Derevchenko or the Charlo against Rosario.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, man, Rosario looked excellent against J-Rock. And J-Rock, you know, took it from Hurd. You know, he took it from Hurd. I never saw that happening. So I know Pita said he has both of the Charlos winning, correct?
Yeah, I picked both of the Charlos, but in really, really close fights, really, really good fights. But I do pick both Charlos to win.
Hey, man, tip their hat off to them, too. They're jumping into a competitive world, a tank out there. And you know what? I think that's going to be the whole slogan of all these fighters. I don't see anybody taking anything lightly or just, hey, I need a tune-up. If you're a fighter, you're ready on and off season.
I think everyone's hungry now with this COVID, so they're trying to get, you know, the best fights that they can, you know, to prove themselves.
This is a great time to surface, besides the Canelo, of who's the next star. Pita, I want to ask you this, man. I mean, you guys are always involved in Top Rank, Golden Boy, PBC. You're everywhere, all around the world. What was it like after Virgil Ortiz came back victorious and knowing that he capitalized on the opportunity? Because that's what it was. Actually, he wasn't even set to be the main event. He was the main event. And what's your take on how he performed as the main event? Is it something that now he can continue to be the main event, or you see him taking a backward step to Ryan Garcia if they do work things out? I want to know your take.
I think, like we were talking about earlier, how with Errol Spence coming back from those car accidents, the moment for Danny Garcia was was there for him to step up and beat someone like him. With all the stuff going on with Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy and all the back and forth, and it's all the online stuff. Virgil capitalized on Ryan wanting, demanding all that extra stuff, and he said, "Give me an opponent, give me a date. I'm ready to fight. I'm in the gym." He didn't get into like any type of arguments or nothing. He just, because one of the things that happened was Walker came out and said that when he announced that the first fight was supposed to be 4th of July, he said the first date was supposed to be for Ryan because he has been affected by all this and stuff like that. But the first Golden Boy fight that actually got canceled was Virgil's. His fight got canceled like a week before his fight. So Virgil was actually the supposed to have his fight, and it got canceled. Ryan got to do his fight on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Virgil was scheduled to go March 28th, I believe it was, and his fight got canceled. But they wanted to give Ryan the first. They wanted to give Ryan the first date when it should have been Virgil. And then for whatever reason, they went through their problems, and Virgil stepped up and said, "I'm ready to fight. Give me whoever it is." And that kind of built up momentum for Virgil. And then the way he performed just topped it off, because he couldn't have looked better. He showed everything he has in his. There's still more that he's going to show. Yeah. But he was able to show different things that people haven't seen. And from here on out, I believe it's nothing but main events against top welterweights from now on.
I agree with you. Personally, okay, if you had the promoter's hat on right now, who would you put in Virgil's path right now? Would be a great test and a great opportunity to, as if to say, hey, now I'm knocking on the doors. I want a title shot if I'm victorious.
I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
If I'm Golden Boy, obviously all the promotional stuff makes it a little bit more difficult to get guys from like PBC and stuff like that. But Golden Boy has themselves. They have someone like a Rashidi Ellis, who's undefeated welterweight as well. He's fighting one of Virgil's past opponents, Brad Solomon, on the Javier Fortuna and Linares card. Someone like that, I think he's like 18-0. I could be wrong with the record, but someone like that, I think another undefeated prospect would work right now for Virgil. But obviously, if it wasn't for all this promotional stuff, I'd say he's ready for anybody. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, all these guys. Terrence Crawford, doesn't matter who it is. I think he's ready for all of them. But yeah, I think someone like a Rashidi Ellis is the one that makes sense right now. They have he signed with Golden Boy. Like I said, he's undefeated, and he has a fight coming up against one of Virgil's former opponents. So it would be kind of a two young welterweights, two undefeated welterweights going at it. So that's the one I think could potentially be next.
Who would you match him up right now, Omar? I know I'm going to say who I would, but I want to hear it from you.
I would like to see him with somebody like Danny Garcia. I'd even like to see him against Pacquiao. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But my top fight for him, I'd love to see him. I mentioned Errol Spence last time, but I'd love to see him against Terrence Crawford. I think he takes Terrence Crawford.
You ain't messing around, are you?
No, let's throw him in there because I think he's ready for all these guys. Let's throw him in there.
That's the one I want to see.
Absolutely.
Terrence Crawford. Yeah.
Well, we're going to say Pacquiao for Mikey. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh,
I would love to see him in there with Keith Thurman.
There may have been some hints thrown in there, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. No, there is, man. There is. This coronavirus wouldn't have happened. They'd be fighting somewhere.
Pita, has Virgil shown interest against a particular fighter, or he just doesn't care? He's following management.
No, he allows everyone to do their job. He just trains and gets ready to fight whoever they put in front of him. He lets Golden Boy, my dad, his father, Virgil Sr., my dad.
And I don't mean to interrupt you. I want to touch on that. That is a great tag team right there. Mm-hmm. Virgil Ortiz Sr. and Robert Garcia.
Yeah. They Virgil's dad, trained him since he was a kid. He knows what he's doing. He's still there with them the whole training camp and helping him out and stuff. But obviously, my dad, with all his experience and stuff, also helps. So it's the perfect combination for Virgil. They're the ones that choose the opponents, talk to Golden Boy about what could be next, and handle all that stuff. Virgil, like I said, Virgil just goes in there, trains, gets ready to fight, and fights whoever they put in front of him.
I'm going to say a quick analogy about your dad. Okay, here's how I would describe your dad. Say you're in court. You're going to court for something, man. Robert's not even subpoenaed. All he has to do is walk inside the courthouse, right, the courtroom, just look, stare, and leave, and they already got a decision. They're like, oh, hell no. He don't have to say anything. Just him being there on your side, standing next to you. You walk in a gym with Robert Garcia next to you, enough said.
Well, shit.
Enough said.
Anytime you even hear about a fighter and you hear,
Yeah.
oh shit, he's training with Robert Garcia.
Yeah.
You know.
You already know.
You know there's going to be there's going to be something coming out of that fighter. You know.
And that's what, I do this a lot whenever there's a big name, the man, the myth, the legend. But that shit is real.
Yeah.
When Robert comes around and he doesn't mess around, and Robert does not hold back. If you don't want the truth, don't ask him a question.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hey, and you know what?
That's the kind of extra how do I say, confidence that he gives the guys. Like I said, we had all these fights in the top ranked series. Some of these guys were 6-rounders, 8-rounders. We lost one fight, and that was the Luis Coria fight. But he put on a great performance. I mean, all the guys are ready. It doesn't matter who we go up against or who we're fighting. Just having my dad in the corner, and it gives the guys that extra motivation, that extra confidence going into all these big fights.
Shit, you know what I'm going to do? Next time I got a big job interview, I'm going to have Robert come in the interview with me and just sit down right there. With all his tape and stuff, he'll be wrapping my hands while I'm doing the interview.
He doesn't have to sit with you. He can just put an earpiece in your ear and he can just tell you what to say.
Exactly. I just want them to see the man itself. Just walk on there.
You mentioned a name right now, which is Luis Coria, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned another name earlier on your when I was watching you guys, a Dominican by the name of Jackson Martinez.
Yeah.
Is he's training there with you guys?
Yeah, he's here. He's been here, I want to say, I don't even know how long already, because they had called him about potential fights. All these Showtime all these fights, the Showtime fights, they got announced. They've been talked about for a little bit already. So they kind of mentioned to Martinez that he could potentially get a fight sometime in August or September. So he flew out here. His manager flew him out here right away. He's been sparring. He sparred Virgil. He sparred Jose. And he's the co-main event on the Benavides card, I believe. And he's fighting that kid Rolando Romero, Rollies, that fight with Mayweather for the WBA interim title at 135.
Well, I can't wait.
So yeah, that's him, Jackson Martinez. He's also on
I can't wait for that fight.
18-0.
Yeah, 19-0, 7 knockouts,
yeah.
and these guys from the Dominican Republic now, man, they're just coming out of nowhere.
Bro, they're either baseball players or world champions.
Or world champs, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Hey, you mentioned Omar watching them. First of all, congratulations, my man. 5,000 followers already, man. Subscribers on YouTube. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, we've been it's been going good. We've been getting a lot of good feedback on the show and stuff. So it's been good.
Hey, but I grabbed your first show. I grabbed a copy and I posted. I said the hottest podcast out today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we, like I said, we've gotten a lot of good feedback. We hope everybody's enjoying it. It's a little bit different. My dad's able to kind of just sit down and we're just just talking boxing, but we're happy everybody's enjoying it.
No, man, exactly, man.
It's a good time.
It is a good time.
Yeah.
Bro, I had the honor of just going down there at Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. We shot the podcast over there. And just being there, man, it makes you better completely. I mean even as a radio host, your game just steps up. It does, because when we got there, we went there twice. When we got there, Showtime was just wrapping up. They were just wrapping up. Mm-hmm. And the last time there, I believe it was Fox or somebody was wrapping up. You never know who's going to walk inside that gym.
Yeah.
Pita, I got to ask you this, man. Who was working out there, that female fighter? Tell us about what was going on in that sparring session, my man. I mean, Raquel Miller, correct?
Raquel Miller was sparring Chris Cyborg.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See what I'm telling you here?
Cyborg.
I got there late. I didn't know they were gonna spar, so I didn't get to see the sparring. But when I walked in, Raquel Miller was leaving the gym, and I recognized. I was like, wait, I think I've seen her before. And then once I got in the gym, I asked.
All the way from San Diego, man.
Yeah, I asked some of the guys, and they told me, oh, that was Raquel Miller. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah, I've heard of her before. I've never seen her fight. I had never seen her fight, I'm not going to lie. But I had heard of the name already, and when I seen her, I recognized her. And I didn't know what she was doing there at first. But then I saw Chris Cyborg was there, and I right away I figured, I was like, oh, they were sparring. And I asked them, they had a good little sparring match.
What a life.
Hey,
what a life,
exactly. And I want to pick your brain a little bit. Cyborg was there, and I know a lot of people don't know you are not only a big MMA fan, but you know your shit, bro. Talk to us about when you saw her inside the gym.
We met her through a sponsor of my dad's, the South Coast Mitsubishi.
Yes, there you go.
The owner is also sponsors Chris Cyborg. So at the StubHub Center some years ago, she introduced my dad, her and my dad, but nothing after that. He was also actually the one that contacted my dad about maybe helping Jose Aldo. a few years back.
Yes.
So it was through him, and this time he wanted to see my dad to help out Chris Cyborg. But I remember who was training or what fight we had coming up that my dad said, honestly, right now I don't have time to do it like at the time that they wanted. But Virgil's dad was there. My dad asked Virgil's dad and got in contact with him to see if he wanted to train her or help her out. So Virgil's dad's been helping her. But it's cool, man. We get there. When we get to the gym, we start at 12. She's usually finishing up by then. But she's a legend. So it's really cool, man, to get to see her at the gym a few times a week. She's good people.
When your dad didn't have time to work with her, that was actually the time that she needed your dad more than anything, because she got stopped by the lioness, Nunez, man.
Yeah, Nunez.
And see, had Robert been working with her, he probably would have had her, faint a little bit, move off to the left a little bit, just touch it up. I'll just give you a hard time, man. But can you imagine? I mean, actually, it had to be for that fight, man. Because listen,
I don't remember what it was for. I think it was in between fights, because the way they usually do it, like the way Jose Aldo did it. Another one that comes to the gym a lot is Yair Rodriguez. He's cousins with Misael, another fighter that we have, and they usually do it in between camps.
Right.
They have their striking coaches and stuff that they work with when they're getting ready for a fight. But in between camps, they still like to work out and work on certain things. Someone like Yair's more kicking and a little bit different, but he comes to gym, works on his boxing. Aldo did the same thing. He comes here and he just strictly working on his boxing. When Aldo was here, he actually got a few workouts in with Chris Cyborg and their team in Orange County. But they're here like strictly just practicing boxing. But it's in between camps that they like to do that.
Omar, that's smart. You know why? Because if they come during camp, you don't want their mitts guy getting all paranoid and stuff,
right?
Because they already know the one Robert touches him, he's going to correct some things here and there.
You imagine?
No, but they do good, man. But they do good. Aldo was able to pick up a lot of stuff. I know a few fights right after that is when he won, when he beat, I think it was Jeremy Stevens with some body shots, and right away we started getting a bunch of messages and stuff. Oh, that was Robert's training him and this and that. It was cool.
It's just not as frequent that you see MMA fighters just standing up and
boxing. A lot of boxers, they don't want to touch it. They don't want to mess with it.
Exactly. And, they have the ground game. That's more of their thing sometimes. But
that's why Robert continues to grow, because he continues to sharpen his tools. He continues to bring the tools out of the toolbox, grease them up, get them ready to go. And one day you may see him in the freaking corner of an MMA event. How would you like to do that, Pita? One day someone said, you know what, I need you to corner this guy, UFC big event, Bellator or Combate Americas, man. What would be your response on that?
That'd be cool. I mean, it'd be a little bit different. Like I said, I don't really. It's completely different, because we're used to giving them instructions for certain things, but obviously the MMA coaches it's a completely different sport. I mean the distancing of them, the everything, because they can kick, and I would be, like I said, I'd be willing to do it. That'd be something really, really fun. But I know when I get to the corner, I'd be really nervous. Because it's a completely different sport. I mean, we could obviously tell them certain things that they should be doing with in terms of boxing and stuff. But I know sometimes that'll get in the way of some game plans and stuff. So it'd be something cool that I would like to experience. But like I said, I'd be really nervous going into that.
Hey, man. That's what he wants, and that's what he likes, man. Why limit yourself? Nervous just makes you better, man. But I can see that happening. I can see you getting a call. I want to ask you something, and I know what happens in the gym stays in the gym, but, I mean, it hit I'm not sure. Someone put it on YouTube, and I know they were just playing around. I think it was Jose Aldo. He was sparring with somebody, but he dipped somebody inside the boxing ring.
Yeah, he was sparring Misael Rodriguez, Yair's cousin. They were sparring, and Aldo sparred Abner. He sparred Mikey. He sparred a bunch of guys, and they were obviously helping him and stuff. But Misael went in there. Misael is a lot bigger. Aldo was fighting at this time at 145. Misael is a 154 pounder, so he's a lot. Actually that's not too far off. But Misael is a little bit bigger. And going into that round, Misael came to the corner, and he was just, like I said, they're working. He's moving on. Misael is a bronze medalist in the Olympics, so he was just kind of boxing, using his jab, just whatever. But he came back to the corner before that round. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna put pressure on him, and I'm try to push him around a little bit." And we said, "All right, whatever." Like he said it like to kind of get Aldo tired or to help him work on the inside,
frustrate him.
But
think about his element.
It was working. Yeah. At the beginning of the round, it was working. You could see Aldo start getting a little bit fatigued. But then Misael, I don't remember exactly what he did. Aldo snapped and just slammed him to the ground, and my dad started laughing.
I saw that footage, man.
Obviously, Misael was fine. He got up like nothing. He was cool. He didn't get mad or nothing.
No, he took it in stride. He took it like a champ.
Yeah, it was cool.
But those are the things that go on in the gym, man. Those are the things that happen in the gym. Because this next question is coming from Bill Coddington. What's the funniest thing, the rawest thing that took place inside the gym? Without giving away any secrets, of course.
I don't know. There's not. I can't say there's like one specific thing. I mean, we've had a lot of crazy stuff happen in sparring. I remember with who was it? Brandon Rios was sparring. I think Jose Ramirez, or just and they what happened? Or Brandon and Maidana. Some of the sparring gets really, really heated. They start throwing after the bell, and I mean, it's just a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff that'll happen. But obviously, after the sparrings and stuff, they'll just shake hands there. They'll laugh about it and stuff. But I mean, it's like with all these different personalities and stuff. We always have different things happening in the gym.
I like the part during Halloween when Mikey came dressed up in his costume, man. That little take there, man. That was hilarious. Bro, I kept rewinding it and showing everybody. And I go, that's Mikey. No, that's not him. I go, that's him, bro. Look. I mean, it was hilarious, man.
Yeah, we knew he was coming because he asked us, "Are you guys still in the gym?" And at that time he was training like 3 times a week around that time, I think. I could be wrong, but he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym right now. Wait for me." We thought it was because he was gonna train, so we're all sitting in the gym waiting for him to show up with his bag and stuff. And he shows up in his Halloween costume. It was funny.
He did a take of like / police officer / Scarface / the border patrol. Funny. I mean, it was hilarious.
That's Mikey, man, doing his own thing, right? He's his own boss.
No, exactly.
Absolutely.
He is his own boss. Hey, talking about being their own boss, man, I need your take right now. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., it's set this month coming up in LA, California, Carson, I believe. Now I will inform that small gloves, no headgear, but small gloves. How much of it is it an exhibition? How much is it like, hey, I'm going to get you out of there, man?
Look, originally when all this stuff with Mike Tyson, he started posting videos of him training and this and that, got a little buzz. People were talking about him maybe making a comeback and fighting some of the top heavyweights, and I didn't like the idea because I don't believe he could be in there with and I think top 10 really, even maybe even more. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's already older and stuff, but when they announced him versus Roy Jones, I got really excited because it's a pretty even matchup. You got two of the biggest personalities in boxing. Me personally, I remember being small and hearing about it, but I never got to experience watching a big Tyson event like that and actually enjoying it, because obviously as a kid you're not really paying too much. I wasn't paying too much attention to it. I was like 5-6 years old when he was the champ. But now I'm actually looking forward to it, to seeing him walk out. Hopefully it's with his white towel and black shorts. And as soon as they start, I think as soon as they touch gloves, the competitiveness in both of them is going to come out, and we're actually going to get a good fight.
I think so. Omar, what's your take on this, man? I'm excited. I wish I can go, but this coronavirus got me all jacked up, man.
First of all, the date has me a little messed up. It's September 12th, correct?
12th, yeah, September 12th.
That was originally a Canelo fight date, but I guess that's on the board of being scratched.
Well, we got to find Canelo an opponent, man. It keeps going back and forth.
Back and forth. But I do agree with something he mentioned earlier about Roy Jones and Tyson. I think once they get in that ring, I think they're going to start just throwing. And, they're supposed to be controlling it because it's an exhibition. They're not supposed to let them get too rough.
Bro, the minute they decided no headgear, it's on.
What's Mike Tyson's favorite quote, right? Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, right?
Exactly. And you know what? I like the fact that he's not here to embarrass himself. He got himself in tip-top shape. I thought maybe he was doing something, Pita, just to promote the movie, with Jamie Foxx playing Mike Tyson. Yeah. He wants to look good on the red carpet, make an appearance. But he still has that sidestep, man. I mean, the only thing that my concern is after the 4th round, your wind starts to go. But Mike's never had a problem going to the 4th round because he usually gets you out by the first 3.
Yep. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to go out there and right away the first round they're going to give it. They're going to get everything. Somebody's going to get knocked out. I think Tyson's going to win by knockout.
And these are 12-ounce gloves, or what are they?
No,
both of them fought their whole career in 10-ounce gloves. So 2 more ounces, that's not really a big difference for those guys.
No. Especially not when they punches that hard.
No, I didn't even want them in pillows either, especially with that knuckle right there. That'd be nice if they were Reyes gloves.
Oh, get out of here. Now you want Roy to get hurt.
Now we'll get somebody hurt. And see, I'm not opposed to Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones as long as they stay on the senior tour. My concern is you want to get in with a Tyson Fury, a Deontay Wilder, or just one of these young cats that just wants to make a name for themselves. Then I got a legitimate concern. But as long as they stay on the senior tour, they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I don't want to see him fight any of the young heavyweights right now. I want to see, but with the Roy Jones, I think it's the perfect matchup.
It is the perfect matchup.
Without giving away too many secrets or any possible future fights, does Mikey plan on staying at 147?
I think so. Everything, every opponent or everything he ever mentions to us is usually potential fights at welterweight. I think he still has that in his head that he wants to become a 5-division world champ. He wants to beat a world champ and take the title from a world champ. He doesn't want to get a vacant title, or he doesn't want people to say that he was given a welterweight championship. He wants to earn it. He wants to be one of the top welterweights. I think that's still in his head. So I do think he's going to end staying a welterweight.
I think we can forever say goodbye to the 135, correct?
I think so. He could make it. I know he can. Mike's not a big guy, but
right.
He
That's those calves,
like
man.
I told you, his goal is that 5th division world title. There's been so many great Mexican fighters that were never able to get a 5th division title. And I know that's something that he has his mindset on, and I think that's where he's going to stay at until he gets that goal, reaches that goal.
Hey, Pita, without staying on this subject too long, there was something that you said that, I wanted to say, but coming from you, it meant everything in the world. When someone had I'm not even going to mention who this media guy is, because you don't even joke around like that. He had the audacity to try to say, hey, let's make Mikey Garcia against Ryan Garcia. And you put that in check real quick.
I mean, look, it's because I expect to hear stuff like that from fans, like from just people that aren't too associated with boxing. That
right.
You could say casual fans, like
or who are not very familiar with weight classes.
All they know is Ryan Garcia's Instagram posts and stuff like that. I expect people like that, but people in boxing, for somebody to say that would be an interesting matchup, I took it as like a slap to the face, as disrespect, because that's not even you don't even joke around about that.
Bro, he literally can. I mean, it'd be honor. He can go lace up his shoes for him.
I saw it. I saw the tweet.
Yeah, and I know who it was coming from too. I'm thinking, dude, why would you say that? How involved you're into the sport? You got to be joking. But I wouldn't even joke that way, man.
I mean, and there are some people who have absolutely zero idea about weight classes. They're talking about, Canelo fighting Usyk and stuff like that.
But those people that don't know about weight classes are like I said, casual fans and stuff. But this guy works in boxing. And
he's a journalist, and
I mean, he covers the sport, so that's why I took it as disrespect.
I know who he is. I'm not going to give him any more props than he needs or he doesn't need. And that's not saying anything against Ryan Garcia. It's just not right now. Not right now. It's not even worthy of that. I just wanted your take on that, because what I do like about you is you're a very forward person, man. Because the first thing when I walked in there, I said, hey, man, what are our Cowboys going to do? And you said, you know what? We need to get rid of this dude, and this dude. You chopped our whole team in half, and then your dad came in and said, what are you doing? No, you can't get rid of this guy. And you kept it real, though. That's what you were feeling. And sure enough, we didn't even make the playoffs, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a big. I was always a big Cowboys fan growing up, but kind of got tired of you get tired of their shit every year. So yeah.
Yeah, without saying on the subject too much, man, they're doing an injustice to Dat, but Dat's, hey, he's counting his money all the way to the bank.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking out for himself, his future and stuff. But even stuff like this shouldn't be happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they let it get to this point. It's really stupid.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to put matchmaker on you right now, and this is probably one that you probably don't even want to touch. I mentioned it to your dad one time, and he was like, nah, I wouldn't even train him. That's what your dad said. What do you think Regis Prograis should do next? Who would you like to see him fight? What division? And he's just stagnant right now because his fights have been canceled, on, off. If you were his management team, his advisor, what advice would you give him?
That Maurice Hooker fight really interested me. I wanted to see that, but if his plans are to stay at 140 pounds, if I'm his manager and I'm his team, I tell him to obviously just fight right now. Just get a fight, because I know he wants like a big fight. He wants to fight some of the top guys, but the plans are with Top Rank for Jose to fight Posol, and if everything comes out, Josh Taylor has a title defense that he's gonna do. Have both those guys fight for the belts, and I know it's been mentioned that like if Josh Taylor wins, he already beat Regis Prograis. He won't stay at 140 pounds for Regis Prograis. I think he's gonna move up. Jose winning the same thing. He beats Josh Taylor, wins all the belts. Either guy, no matter what happens with that fight, they're moving up to welterweight, and I think they're going to fight Terrence Crawford. Josh, that leaves Regis Prograis in a perfect position at 140 to get some of the belts back. Maybe unify the division as well. But he's not beating Jose or Josh Taylor, so he should just wait it out, wait for these guys to fight. Both of them move up to welterweight, and then he gets shot at the title next.
I personally like Regis. He's a friend of mine. We talk and stuff. But I'm not going to go tell him, hey, tuck your chin in a little bit more. That's a bad matchup for him and Jose.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
I think Regis is a great fighter. He's one of the. I think those three are the best 140 pounders.
I agree with you.
Mixed match, however people think. But the top two are Jose and Josh Taylor.
I agree.
And Regis isn't beating either one of them right now. So, like I said, if I'm his manager, I'm his team, I tell him just to wait. Let Jose and Josh Taylor, have their big undisputed fight, and then go after the belts once they vacate.
Well, they keep going back and forth, right? Because Regis was supposed to fight Hooker, and then Hooker's like, oh, I'm going to 147, and now he's kind of, he just can't make up his mind on what weight class he wants to stay in.
No, but you know what? I'm a fan of Regis. You know why?
Yeah.
You know why, Pita? I mean, this guy wrestles alligators, man. He swims with great white sharks. He jumps off cliffs. He'll put his kid on top of the stairs on a cardboard box and let him come all the way rolling down like it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, the man just lives on the edge, man. I mean, he's enjoying life.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to him in Las Vegas, and he just says, man, hey, man, I just enjoy life, man, like it's a world title. I enjoy it every single day.
No, and his fighting style is really, really entertaining. I like the way he fights.
Is. Yeah.
And he's wanted to fight guys like Jose. He fought Josh Taylor. He fought in that 140-pound tournament. He's willing to fight the top guys, but that isn't enough to beat the top. Just wanting to fight them isn't going to get you to beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not going to beat Jose. He's not going to beat Josh Taylor. But yeah, I'm a fan of his too. I like his fighting style. He's an exciting fighter. He puts on a good fight every time he steps in the ring.
I can see him, eventually fighting for a vacated belt at 140. After win, lose, or draw, when that unification comes about, they're both going to move up. I see that happening.
Yeah. No matter what the outcome is for either guy, I think both of them end up moving up to welterweight after the fight. Obviously, we're with Jose, and I believe Jose is going to beat Postol and then go on to Josh Taylor and become the undisputed champion. But whatever happens, I think both guys end up at welterweight right after that fight.
Hey, Pita, real quick, man. I mean, let's talk about this because Jose has mentioned Bud Crawford before, right? Of course, Jose still has business at 140 pounds. Finally, just recently, Bud Crawford chirped back and he said, "Man, let him come up here. He'll take his first loss, or it'll be easy work for me right here." Is he really buying into that now, or is he just bored? Because when I say it, and that's no disrespect to Jose or anybody, because if there's any 147-pounder without a future fight, it has to be Bud Crawford, man. I mean, the guy has been inactive for so long. They're not even mentioning him. The last time they mentioned him, Bob Arum said he was fighting Conor McGregor.
Yeah, there really isn't much. And you guys were talking about me and my dad on our show yesterday. We talked. On Sunday we talked about Terrence Crawford and us thinking that the potential fight for him could be Virgil Ortiz. Because I think because Virgil is ranked number 2 for the WBO title right now. The number 1 guy is Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia is fighting Errol Spence. They have their fight already set up. Jose is fighting Postol. Josh Taylor has a fight set up. I don't know who his opponent is, but I believe it's later in the year. I don't know the exact date yet. That means if both guys come out and win, Jose versus Josh Taylor could potentially be early next year. Terrence Crawford I'm hearing he might go to 154 to fight the Brazilian world champ Teixeira for his next fight, but he's not going to leave the welterweight division. I think he's going to go up, get the title, come back down to defend his welterweight title, and the guy that's going to be waiting for him there is Virgil Ortiz, because Jose is going to be fighting Josh Taylor. I think that's the potential fight for him. I don't want to see him fight someone like a Khetphet or just make an easy title defense like that. Like there's no interest in that. There's no Khetphet's not going to beat Terrence Crawford. There's just no chance. A fight like Virgil versus Terrence Crawford is something that would get the fans talking. It'd be a big fight for him.
You know what I'm thinking right now, and I want your take on this, Omar. I'm going to mention a fight that took place, and this man was very smart to take the fight when it happened because he knew every single day that went by, this particular fighter was getting better. And I'm going to take it way back, Canelo and Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather said, I'm going to fight this kid now that he's still green because every day that goes by, he keeps getting better and better. You don't have the same thing with Virgil Ortiz because he's not green. He's ready for that one. The only thing that he's green about is wanting to take that WBC belt. But you can't avoid him, or you can't give him days to get better. So if you were Bud Crawford's management, would you say let's make it happen now?
Yeah, the longer they wait, the more experience Virgil gets, and the better. But he's ready for Terrence Crawford. Like I said, he's ready for Terrence Crawford now. I think he would beat him right now. It doesn't matter if it's now or next year or whatever. I think he beats Terrence Crawford. Period. But yeah, maybe they do think of it like that, like, oh, he's too young, no, he's ready for him right now, and I think he beats him right now.
And those are rare athletes. That peak at the tender age, what is he, 20, 22?
He's not even in his prime yet, and he's already that great.
21, 22. Yeah. I don't know the exact age.
And I think Bud is already as good as he's going to get, and Virgil's only getting better.
But you know what the bad thing about it is, Sugar Ray Leonard had Marvin Hagler, he had Tommy Hearns, he had Roberto Duran. And even Roy Jones Jr. was stuck in that element. Was stuck in that for a little while. But it wasn't until later on that he challenged himself and then started getting hit.
Yeah.
Bud Crawford needs these big names to be great.
I mean, he actually got a bit hurt in his last fight against...
Benavidez tagged him, too.
Oh, Benavidez tagged him a lot with one leg.
See, and when I saw...
He got dropped his last fight, but they didn't count it as a knockdown.
They didn't count it as a knockdown, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
He got hit.
Exactly. Is my mic on?
No, it's
or is it just me? I think my mic's
a little low.
But we'll work through it.
Yeah.
My concern, there you go.
There you
All
go.
right, live here in Fresno, California. Thank you, Pita. Shoot, man. I know Pita pulled some strings, or he had his dad make a call real quick. That's what it was.
That's right. That's what it was.
No, I'm serious, man. Just him being around. Just him being around makes you a better fighter altogether, man. And that was going to be my next question, Pita. What's it like in the Garcia home, man? Tell us what's it like a day like, because I know you guys are familia. I know there's a lot of love in there. I see that. But what's it like, man? Is there joking around there? Is it constant boxing, or what's going on? Tell the viewers, the fans, and the followers.
You just described it with joking and the boxing. That's all it is. Like when we have family gatherings and whatever, that's all it is. It's just joking around and talking boxing.
Some carne asada, some beers.
That's all we do is talk boxing and I mean to other people it seems like it's like you guys said. I walked into the gym and I saw Chris Cyborg and Raquel Miller, and they had just finished sparring. I get to see Jose spar Virgil and stuff like that. And for us, it's just like it's just normal. It's what we what we grew up watching. It's what we grew up hearing about. It's what our family does. It's what we know. So to us, it's just, it's normal. I wake up in the morning, I see my dad, we'll be drinking coffee, and boom, right away, all right, start asking him about this guy, that guy, what's going on with this, what's going on with that fight, and it's just, that's it. That's what we do. That's what we talk about is boxing.
Pita, how much is your dad still influenced by his father when it comes to training fighters and in the gym?
My grandpa still goes to the gym a lot. He wanted to. He went to the gym yesterday. He had taken a few weeks off from the gym. He had stayed home. My grandma actually just left to Mexico, so he's actually at home by himself. So he's kind of bored, and he'll call us, and so he came to the gym yesterday, and he was watching Jose spar today. He was watching Jose do mitts and still giving advice. We actually have two amateurs, Carlos Escovedo and Pedro, that started training at 12 with some of the professionals. We want them to get some. They're 16 years old, and we want them to get some sparring in with some of the pros now. And even with the amateurs, I'm doing mitts with a 15-year-old, and he walks up and starts giving him advice, telling me what I should be working on with them and stuff. So he's still there as much as he can, giving us advice, talking to us about how we should be working with them, how we should, different things. But he still influences us a lot.
Can you imagine being there at such a young age? And starting off your boxing career, and you're starting off there.
Well, I mean, they do because there's a side of the wall, man. When you walk inside Robert Garcia's boxing academy, there's plenty of room, and I know who exactly they're saving that room for, and that's talking about Little Bear. Because you can see see the light. You can see Robert just light up when he talks about his little baby bear, and he's going to put the mouthpiece on and let them hands go. It's in the genes, man.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I think that's the next one. I think he's next. Him and Mikey's youngest. Him and Mikey's youngest are going to be the next ones to fight.
There you go. When you hear stuff like that and you know stuff like that, that just promises your legacy at Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. You guys aren't going anywhere. I mean, traditionally, you already got people that are going to do it next year, the year after, et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. Ali Setback said it best. He told me this one time. He said, Richard, you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep. That's the truth. I don't see going to the gym as, oh shit, I have to go to work, I have to know. It's just, I mean, it's what I like to do. It's what I know. What you know. I love it. I love being at the gym, helping my dad, helping other guys and stuff. But like you said, yeah, we're not stopping anytime soon. We have all these different. We have guys obviously like Mikey and Jose Ramirez who have already accomplished a lot, and are still going to accomplish a lot. But we have guys like Virgil, Joshua Franco, Jesse Rodriguez, just Hector Tanajada, just the list goes on and on of 20, 21-year-olds that are also undefeated on their way up. Right now we're in the process of talking to a few more amateurs that my dad's trying to sign. I mean, we're going to keep it going for hopefully a long time.
Anything for Hector after his fight got canceled?
Nothing yet. I know Golden Boy talked to my dad that they're looking at a potential fight for him. We can't announce everything yet, but we don't know the exact date. We're trying to see what DAZN and Golden Boy say. But yeah, I mean, he had a good training camp. He was ready. We were a little bit bummed out about that a lot. You know, he was in really, really good shape. He had his sparring. When he was sparring, he was going to fight Mercedo Jesta, who's a southpaw, but he was helping every day of sparring. He was helping Virgil out with 4 rounds of sparring, and then he would finish off with the southpaws. So he was in really, really good shape sparring Virgil, and we were excited about his fight. He was in the best shape he's been. So we'll see what they say about his next fight. But like my dad said, I know my dad talked about it. He said that maybe everything happens for a reason. Maybe someone like Virgil is a little bit more comfortable with his father being in the corner. Hector Tanajada's dad couldn't travel to the fight. He wasn't going to be there. So I didn't go either. I stayed back to help train Jose. My dad went. Khetphet was there, and my dad tested positive right there with Golden Boy, so he had to leave. And that was going to leave Khetphet by himself to work Tanajada's fight. So maybe you never know. Maybe he wouldn't have felt as comfortable, and things happen for a reason. So his fight gets postponed. But we'll see when he's able to go in there again.
Exactly. Hey, Pita, real quick, my mic again. Hey, there's going to be 2 names that I'm going to mention to you. Thorne Castellon at 154 pounds. He'll be making his pro debut. And also Jesus Haro. Man, when you got time, man, we'll work it out somehow. You guys can take a look at these guys. One's from Merced and one's from Madera, California. If I didn't think they had any...
I've heard the Haro. I've heard that last name before.
Yeah.
I think I've seen something like that on Instagram or somebody. There's a few brothers now.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
Yes, there is. They just need that confidence. They need that shaping and molding. Well, what they need is Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. Enough said. So Thorne Castellon as well.
I've never seen him fight, but I've heard the name.
Well, there you go. Then you're off to the. Hey, I'm not mentioning something you don't know. Then. Hey, before we move on to Jose, man, I do want to say this, and then I'm gonna move past it because then we're gonna narrow it down. Man, I'm hoping, man. Before I didn't want this fight to happen. I really didn't because I get along with Mikey's camp, and I also get along with Sean and Manny Pacquiao's camp. Now I want to see that fight. I want to see Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia. Because that's going to bring out the best in them right now. I just can't see Manny Pacquiao fighting anybody else. That he's not going to be motivated like he would be for Mikey Garcia. There's going to be a lot of Mexicans there, a lot of Filipinos, and a lot of boxing fans there. And I think the holdup is this whole pandemic. What's your take, Pita?
Yeah, I think that was the fight that was being talked about after Mikey's fight with Jesse Vargas for sometime in the summer, early fall. Obviously, all this stuff happened, so it kind of postponed everything. But I do think that's a great fight. Their styles are perfect for each other to put on a great fight. I mean, obviously, I want to see that. I want to see Mikey fight him. I want to see Mikey beat him and become a 5-division world champ. So we're hoping it happens. But right now, with all this stuff, honestly, we don't know what's going on with that. Like you said, with all the fans, the Mexicans, the Filipinos, that's always produced great fights, great atmosphere that fights. So with all this stuff, maybe they want to wait a little bit to be able to get the fans in the arena. But yeah, that's a fight that I want to see.
Hey, before we leave, man, let's talk about that bubble, August 29th, MGM Grand. The Avenal kid himself, man, he's just been itching to get back. He's had a lot of fights postponed, a lot of fights canceled. And I was going to ask you, is it difficult for him, I mean, I should ask him myself too, but I'm asking you because you're always there with him, to turn it on and then he has to turn it off and then turn it back on again? That's always been my concern, you know, of him possibly being overtrained. I'm talking about Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, no, he's known how to manage it. His manager Rick, my dad, Top Rank have kept him, keep telling him about potential dates and stuff. But it's never been. We never had any like guaranteed fight dates for Jose. So he was always coming in and out of the gym, just making sure he's in shape. He's still training. He would come for like a few weeks and go home. He has his family with him, so obviously he could, take a few days off and just spend time with his family. So it was never that's never going to be a problem. Once they let him know that the August 29th date was for sure signed and everything was good to go, then he turns it up and now he's getting ready for that. But no, the overtraining and stuff, that's not a problem with Jose. He knows how to manage his body.
Hey, rate his left hook to the body.
Oh, it's strong, man. Today, I didn't do it. I didn't do the we call it la gobernadora, the body shield that we use.
Yeah.
And Khetphet did it with him, and he did 4 rounds with them. And it was after Jose had already done 8 rounds of mitts with my dad, and he was supposed to do 2 with Khetphet, but he finished the 2 with Khetphet. He said 2 more, so he wanted to do all 12 rounds up in the ring with mitts and the body shield. And Khetphet came down just talking about how strong he is. He's a strong dude, man. That left hook, that every punch he throws, like we said earlier with Virgil Ortiz, Jose's the same. Every punch he throws is with bad intentions. So
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you got for my man before we spring him loose, man?
Man, I'll tell you what, it was a privilege, an honor to speak to you, and I have never met you, but someday I will.
I told you he's a boxing encyclopedia,
I know, man. This
man.
guy. I've met your dad, not you though, but someday we will.
If my Google freezes because I don't even like to go there. I really don't. I hate when I can't remember something, and I refuse. Honestly, I refuse to go to Google. Don't be surprised if I text your ass, Pita, about 2 o'clock in the morning, saying, "Bro, I got a 12-pack on this, bro. Come on, I need to know, man."
Let me know what you.
For sure.
Exactly. So tell us, how do we follow you? Talk to us about the podcast. How can we help co-promote that, man? When does it come on?
We're on every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Robert Garcia Unfiltered on YouTube. Every now and then during the week, we'll post a little sparring clips. We'll post some of the workouts. Just different things. We'll post maybe 1 or 2 videos during the week. But every Sunday at 7 p.m., Robert Garcia Unfiltered. Just follow my dad at Garcia Boxing, and all the information is there. We post everything on my dad's Instagram.
Be tuning in.
Exactly. Hey, Pita, did I send you a shirt or a hat?
I have a shirt.
Well, I want to see that shit tagged up. Tag me when you're rocking that bad boy.
All right, for sure.
Exactly, man. Because that shirt, when you put it on, man, you feel better. It's kind of like having Robert Garcia around you.
Oh, I bet.
I like it. All right. Gotcha.
Hey, no, I'm serious, dude. I get that job interview. Robert's coming with me, man. They're just going to know, hey, yeah. And I'm going to let them know, hey, Robert just, he dropped me off.
Yeah.
I don't even got to say Garcia. I'm going to say Robert.
He's with me.
Yeah, Robert's with me, man. Don't even trip. Trip. Hey, Pita, hey, like Omar said, man, it's a privilege and honor, man, and I'm ready. I'm going to book you for next month. I got to have you on once a month, man, because you are a boxing encyclopedia. You're very informative. The fans love you, and I told you that a long time ago when I first met you. I said, man, I thought to myself, this kid has a career in commentating, promoting, whatever you decide to put your mind to it, man. I mean, talking about a chip off the old block, you're making your own path, man, in that gene pool from the Garcias, man. In my opinion, man, it's second to none.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. It went by quick. I just checked my phone right now. It's been over an hour, but it went by quick.
Too quick.
Of course, I'll be happy to go on this once a month. Whenever, just shoot me a text and I'll be on.
Okay. Hey, man. Besides your podcast, man, what's the hottest podcast here in Cali?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Besides your podcast blowing up, what's the hottest podcast here in Cali?
Oh, the Fighter's Voice podcast, of course.
Hey, the only voice that matters, like Ali Setback said, was simply knocking out the competition. It's a pleasure and an honor. Make sure you catch them every Sunday. Every now and again, they'll change it up. Go to Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, his bio. Follow them, subscribe. They're at 5,000 right now. They want to hit 6,000. And also, you can show some love for The Fighter's Voice. Follow us at www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap here with Pita, with Omar, Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Turfy at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.